Hey guys, it's Drac, and today I want to do a video on the Elite Nerf Strong Arm, and I have every intention of modifying it using the Orange ModWorks kits. For those of you that are unfamiliar about Orange ModWorks, they're almost a household name at this point in the modding community, but I will toss a link to their store in the description box below, and you can check them out. They make all of the best products for like supplementing your mods without having to do a ton of like CAD work and build your own parts. I think that it's really sweet that they're out there making pretty much something for everything, but the Strong Arm is my favorite of the Elite Blasters. The Alpha Trooper is a close second. They're both really sweet, but I think that the Strong Arm is awesome. I'm excited to crack this and finally make a mod video for you, so this will be the ultimate mod video for the Nerf Elite Strong Arm, and it seems like there is a need for it. So I will make this video showing you step by step how to install this kit and anything else that I discover along the way that needs to be done. For starters, we're going to butterfly this open. So right away you can see once you've butterflied open this blaster that we are not in Maverick land anymore. The catch return spring is no longer a loop, it's screwed on here. So there is one screw that's vibrantly different from the rest, and it's this tiny silver screw that you can see. It fits into this peg and holds this return spring, which is kind of falling out right now, into place and lets you return your slide. Other than that, the catch is radically different. The trigger mechanism is super duper different because in addition to working through this rotation mech, it is also handling the return, which rotates the barrel. And I don't want to mess with that too much because the Orange ModWorks kit isn't messing with it, and I don't see any reason to improve something that's already a very strong seal. Now, the air restrictor in this blaster is, I feel, almost necessary because it's part of what's creating such an excellent airtight seal, which gives this Elite blaster with a rotating barrel its performance. Now I'm going to dive right into the Orange ModWorks kit because it looks like that is the extension of this mod guide, is going to be the installation properly of this kit. We have a new O-ring, a new catch spring, and some re-greasing materials. We have a fully metal trigger assembly, which is just molded perfectly to this. We have a new catch mechanism, which is important because I'm assuming that this spring is going to be sizable. So we have a catch, which will replace this, and then we will replace the catch spring with the one inside the kit. And then we have a new plunger rod, which looks sweet, and I'm looking forward to installing this, and I'll show you what that looks like as we get it all locked in and put together. Okay, so as you're going through and installing your kit, I have discovered a few things. The Orange ModWorks spring is way tougher, which is going to be awesome for performance than this original stock spring. The grease that Orange ModWorks uses is great. To get it out, you're going to have to invert your cap, dab in, and then I like to use my pinky finger, come in and apply like not too much. A lot of people overdo it, but a generous portion. So that was, I don't know, about a centimeter's worth of squeeze, and then I like to make sure that I get the O-ring. The O-rings that Orange ModWorks supply are a great seal with the plunger tube to begin with, so there's no need to add any Teflon tape or anything like that. I do like patting these plungers, but since we're not removing the air restrictor, I'm not too terribly worried about it. I'm just going to wipe off this grease real quick. So because the spring is so much more powerful, we're going to need a better catch. Luckily, Orange ModWorks provides you with not only a regular one, but also there is a backup inside the bag. Anyway, this is the regular catch. It is quite puny, and then this is the Orange ModWorks catch, which is not too terribly much better, but a little bit. And then the nature of this blaster is tricky because the catch spring goes in here and then fits into this notch here. So I like to make it much easier to keep the catch where it's supposed to be by taking a tiny dot of hot glue, placing it here, wiping it down, and I have a micro screwdriver here that I can use to make sure that this is really clean and that there isn't too terribly much extra. And then I seat my spring in like that and give it a little twist. which locks it into this piece so that it doesn't go flying out, and it makes it just a little bit more stable, and then more importantly, it makes it much easier to get it back into the blaster. So after I seat this into the plunger tube, I haven't touched any of the internals because I like how the blaster functions and primes normally. The only thing I have left to do is install the super sweet Orange ModWorks trigger, which they don't give you an extra spring for, so make sure that you grease these running rails so that it slides back and forth, because there will be more friction. I also like to put a little bit of grease in here so that it doesn't impact with this screw, because metal on metal is a grind. And then you have to use this spring, and again I like to dot hot glue in there to make sure that it's all secure. I'll show you the internals when they're done. Okay, so as you guys can see, I have glued in the new metal trigger assembly. I've placed in this. I've kind of made the return spring on the slide a little bit stronger because I like it to really snap back, and then I've laid in ever so gently, and I'm weighting it down because everything kind of wants to come out with this screwdriver, the new catch mechanism. It's super important that you make sure that you have this ramp going this way as you put it back together so that this clicks up and in. Ramp at the top, other piece underneath. It's pretty self-explanatory in the original internals that this goes up top. I can't think of anything else that needs to be said. The barrel's going to go right back in as it is. Then I'm just going to screw this back together. Make sure that you keep your in-strike. They really need to come up with a name for this piece. This piece into place because it likes to fly off when you open your blasters and it looks really silly. Make sure that this is still a part of your blaster as it likes to come in and out. I might actually paint this before I put the blaster back together just so that it's obvious that this is the one that I modified and threw the Orange ModWorks kit into without having to pick it up and test it. But that is how the internals look. I'll put it back together and do a final firing demonstration for you. Hey guys, so I'm out here to do a demonstration and firing video for the modded strong arm with the Orange ModWorks kit installed, as opposed to a stock strong arm that has had actual nothing done to it. And I'm looking forward to showing you guys the differences. We're shooting upwind, uphill, so that will be interesting. But I'm just going to fire off all of these. I'm going to try and be as consistent as possible. That was embarrassing. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and look at these. I'm going to leave these here so that when I come back, they are waiting. So I'm well past my first tree, and I see 1, 2, nothing, 3, 4. Alright, so the line is about halfway into this bush and not quite at this tree, and I'm going to pick up a couple of these so I can fire off a few more shots with the modded version. But we'll come back and we will try the Rebuker Rev 6. I sanded down the label in the Draculina, renamed this blaster. It really bothers me that they stopped doing the labeling system on Nerf blasters when they got to the Elite series, pretty much, and it's a revolver and it holds 6 darts, so it should be a Rev 6, and Rebuker seemed like a cool name, so we went with it. But prime is a little bit harder and the performance is markedly improved. With this much power behind the darts, I feel like the grouping is also going to be a little bit more consistent. And I think I'm going to do a second round of shots, just because this blaster is so much fun to play with. This would make an excellent HVZ secondary, although I am tempted to keep using my special lock and load. Alright, so we will leave that here, and we're going to kind of go see what we got. So I'm not sure if that's this round or last. We have a similar grouping up here at about halfway into the bush, and then more up here the grouping is just way tighter. I'm going to see if we broke the tree at all. We hit the tree here, and we went way past it with a couple of our shots. So that is kind of cool. I am just really pleased with the performance of the Orange ModWorks kit in the Strong Arm, and I think that it's a notable upgrade. Again, you can buy your own in the description box below. And it was really easy to install. A little bit of hot glue, a little bit of their grease, and it's done. As always, guys, thanks for watching.